Okay, walk me home in battery saver mode. Wearing my nifty $2.60, well, we'll call it $3 jacket. So, I drank buckets of water, well, hydration drink, I guess we'd call it. The modified secret recipe is 1 quart water, half teaspoon table salt, half teaspoon light salt, L-I-T-E salt, which is basically half potassium chloride and half sodium chloride for the chemistry geeks, and a 1 gram scoop of vitamin C powder. I get pure vitamin C powder now and then, and I put that in my drinks. And I think I did a half teaspoon of sugar, because I really don't want a lot of sugar in my life, but the sugar does help the water get into my body faster. So, and I'm trying to be delicate here, but there were a lot of trips to the bathroom and yesterday, and just a lot of fluid moving around. So I wanted to make sure that I stayed hydrated, because it's such a kick out of those toads. But I think I did that. I was a little dizzy when I started work, but I was okay. I had some chicken strips from the deli for dinner, and that went down okay. And I actually had a taste for them, which was very encouraging. And a friend bought me lunch, which I thought was very sweet. So, I'm just tired, so tired. It's interesting, because when I'm physically tired, I'm much more vulnerable emotionally. And just anxiety is one of the problems. And I gotta remember, God has this. And if I don't believe God has this, I am screwed. And if I could believe God had it after Ron died, I had $16 in my checking account, one less than 17, and got laid off basically the next day. That, and God had me the whole time, that I'm going to be okay. And I got my 5-year stuff today at work. It was a little late, but it was nice of them to do that. And they took a picture of me and we were holding it, and I got a picture for Dad, and he was very happy with it. So I got a new badge too. It says, I don't have it with me, but just had our 5 years, so that's nice. But yeah, it's just, that's where God has me for now. And I need to remember that, and I need to fulfill my mission. And it was very sweet today that this nice lady I work with said, "Oh, Heather, I got you something that's my favorite." And I said, "Oh, what is it? Thank you." And she handed me something, and I recognized it immediately, because when Ron and I had the deli, one of our favorite offerings was the macadamia nut cookies. And I used to tease Ron and say, everybody says the macadamia nut cookies. It's macadamia nut. And just, yank his chain doing that. And we sold like that oatmeal raisin and the regular chocolate chip, but everybody wanted the macadamia. And they would like fight over the last one, if there was only one left, that they would argue over who got it, the customers. And I think the girls would, basically say whoever gives the biggest tip gets it, that kind of thing, which I was okay with. And, but we kept it pretty well stocked. So I recognized it immediately. I'm like, oh, thank you. That is nuts. I'm allergic to nuts. And while I've said this to some of my coworkers, I don't really think they get it. And one of them actually was eating nuts in front of me to see, like, if I was going to fall down and die. And I'm like, please don't do that again. One of my bosses was eating peanut butter crackers right next to me. And I'm like, I need to, like, leave. And she's like, why? I said, I'm allergic to nuts. Oh, I'm sorry. Just, no, please don't. I don't like to take chances. I leaned on something in the break room probably 5 years ago now. And the table was kind of like greasy. I don't know what kind of grease it was. And it got on my arm and I wiped it off. And I got this painful blistering rash. It was very, very unpleasant for weeks, I think. It was not fun at all. And I don't know what it was, but I sure don't want to encounter that again. But, you know, it's impossible, I think, to have a busy retail break room that is not free. So I just am careful. Now, one of the things they did a while back when inflation got really bad is they started doing like a little food pantry for the workers, which is a good idea. And the workers worth the wages and all that. So they have like cup of noodles and stuff like that. And they also have peanut butter and bread and stuff. So if you want to make like a peanut butter sandwich, you can. Yeah, I just kind of stay away from that side of the break room. And so far I've been okay, but I haven't had what I would term a serious reaction to nuts, except almonds. I ate almonds once and my throat got real tight. And I did a test a couple weeks later and it happened again and it was worse. And I said, okay, I'm never eating almonds. And chocolate, oh, that was fun. That was a week-long migraine, which I hear is impossible, but boy, I had it. I was sick as a dog. Seeing the bottom of my bucket for way too long. Oof. Yeah, I didn't weigh myself, but I should have. I bet I lost some weight that week. But after that week was up, I said no more chocolate. And so this migraine that I just got over, I ran out of Butterbur about a week ago, and I'm pretty convinced that was it. And I also ate fancy cheese, a lot of fancy cheese, the night before I got sick with pepperoni. So I think that was just not a good setup for me. And then we had a tropical thing pass through, so, you know. And my last driver said he had just been talking about me back at the garage and wondering when he was going to see me again, and I was on his bus. So I thought that was interesting, so, yeah. But I guess there aren't a lot of notable passengers on some routes. But I don't really, I never plan to be noticeable in any way. I mean, I was almost 50 before I started dyeing my hair. I was always, you know, a quiet little mouse in the corner until I wasn't. But yeah, I'm just mainly doing this blog to stay awake because I am very, very tired. I did not sleep well. I don't sleep well with a migraine. But hopefully I'll sleep okay tonight. I have to start earlier tomorrow. So that means I have to get up an hour earlier, at least. So I'll do that, and I have no idea what I'm doing for lunch. Oh, I have most of the thing I cottage cheese at work. I can have that for lunch. Bring some fruit maybe, you know. I dealt with the cottage cheese. Hello, neighbors. Those are my sponsors, I guess. Like the people who bring the groceries. But, so, I don't know if he was looking out for me or what, but he saw me, so. If they're trying to figure out my schedule, though, that's kind of a losing battle because it varies. And I like that it does vary because if there's a problem, I'm not going to run into it very often. Or him very often, or her. Remember that dog? I had this problem with this crazy lady who was convinced I was her daughter. And every time she got on my bus, the Holy Spirit was just like, get off now. So I would. And I believe she attacked the driver once in my presence because the driver and I were chatting about an accident on the 96 and speculating on how it could have happened. And she got up and she was shouting at the driver that she didn't want to hear us talking. And the driver, who was a lady, said, this is my bus. If you don't want to hear me talk, get off the bus. And she stopped the bus and she opened the door. And the lady went running up towards the door. And I think we all thought she was getting off. But she didn't. She turned around and attacked the driver. And then some chick was filming it, which I thought was really awful. And somebody else called 911, so I didn't have to. But it was interesting because when it was over, the driver called Metro Police. And 911 had already been called. And 911 came like 5 minutes before Metro Police, which I thought was kind of sad. But yeah, so if the Holy Spirit tells me to get off a bus, I absolutely will. I don't care where it is. But so I don't know what's going on. But I'm almost home now. And going to check the mail. And okay, let's see. Oh, victory in Jesus. That's what I say when I'm getting my bugging on and off the bus when I'm doing a Bible handout. Because that is some weight, let me tell you. At least when I'm going, hopefully when I'm leaving the handout, it's a lot lighter because I gave a bunch of Bibles away. I got a lot of stuff. I don't know if any of it's important. Okay. Put it under my arm. I will have a quick glance. Klein ISD. Something addressed to Ron. Oh, it's been dead for a while. This is your story. At James Avery. No, I don't need jewelry. Remember, I decided not to wear anything on either ring finger. In part to send a very clear message that I'm not carrying a torch for my deceased husband. Who, by the way, when we were just began dating, we started dating in like spring of 92. And it's like summer of 92. He said, I want you to remarry. I'm like, what? He said, because we had talked about marriage at this point. And he said, I'm older than you and I have a bad family history of problems. And, stroke and stuff. He said, I want to make sure you remarry when I die. And I said, I would. I haven't met the right guy, but I'm not saying no. It'd have to be the right guy, though. I'm not just going to marry him because I don't want to be alone. Yay, I left my light on. Why does he have his Christmas lights on? I don't know. Do I care? No, because they're quiet. And hopefully I can sleep tonight. And if they want to have their Christmas lights on, and in the middle of July, that's cool with me. I'm fine. I'm easy. I'm chill, so it sure is dark over here. But yeah, I got something on the porch. Let's see what this is. See if it's mine. It looks like a Christian book box. Let's see. Okay. Amazon? I don't have anything from Amazon. This isn't me. Oh, the donation people came. Good. Okay, I donated some more clothes that didn't fit. Veterans Voice of America. Call for pickup anytime. Thank you. You're welcome. If it's falling off me, I don't need to wear it. This is not my Amazon package. I can already tell you that. Oh. It's got my name on it. Okay, we're gonna do an unboxing, guys. Because I did not order anything from Amazon. Okay. This has piqued my curiosity. Okay. So, we are going to just take a quick look at the mail here. Okay. This is all, what they call, junk mail. So, there's the purse. Love this jacket. This is a fun little jacket. It's only $2 too. Alright, so I'm gonna get the buggy in, and then I'm gonna get the Amazon. Now, I don't do any weight training right now, but I have found that a 5-pound dumbbell makes an excellent doorstop. So, just gonna carefully negotiate. And isn't it nice? We don't know how long this package has been here, but it's still here when I got home from work. That is very nice. Okay, let's see how heavy this bad boy is. Okay. Oh, it's pretty heavy. I think I can buy this in here. Okay. Alrighty. Now, the house is kind of warm, so I really need to get this jacket off. Alright, so we're gonna turn off the light. I'm gonna set this down, get a nice view of this. Oh, you can see me. Okay. Alrighty. You know, I was telling a guy on the bus, he's a regular passenger on that time slot. The, we'll say the 10 o'clock bus. So he rides pretty regularly, and I know him, you know, we know each other by sight. And I said, what is it that I can get the left arm on okay, but I always have trouble with the right arm? It's very interesting to me. So, taking off the shoes and the socks. Because let me tell you, now I'll wait on the socks. I want to see what's in here. So, the box cutter is in the bedroom. So, we're going to put this on the box. Okay, look, hi. Okay. And we're going to go to the bedroom. Well, the war room, as I call it. Notice no cats clamoring to meet me. But they were super cuddly when I was sick, so I don't fault them for that. Okay, it is very dark in here. Okay. Alright, so we got some light. And I can put this right here. Alright, so you propped up against some Bibles. Yeah. It has my name and my address. 13.4 pounds, whatever it is, from Amazon. And again, I am clueless what this is because I haven't ordered anything. I don't even think I have anything wish listed, so let's see what I got. It's encouraging though. It looks like Bible. It feels like Bibles, so let's see. And 13 pounds of Bibles is a good time for me. Bibles. All right. Okay. Spanish Bibles. Ooh, and English. Ooh, nice. This one is great. You can give this to any Spanish speaker. Ooh, here's hope. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I have no idea who this is from. But thank you. I will definitely hand them out. And I can always use Bibles. I'm looking to see if there's a note or anything. But if there is, I don't see it. Just paper. So, thank you, anonymous sponsor. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. This, I could put this in a gallon bag with some candy even. I might do that. And I love the color because as you notice, it matches my room. Alrighty. Thank you very much. And that was a great end to my day.